Stela is a 2019 puzzle platformer adventure game from Skybox Labs and is out for iOS, Xbox, Windows, and Switch. This game is a lot like Limbo and even more so like Inside if you've played those games, and I actually think it gets a lot closer to the experience and enjoyment of those than I ever thought it would. While there isn't a whole lot to do in this game and not nearly as many puzzles as there are in Limbo or Inside, it still brought a level of creativity to them that was really impressive. And the reason my expectations for this were somewhat low is because I haven't heard anything about this game like at all. Even in the Microsoft Store, there's usually like a handful of reviews for even the most random games, and I think the last time that I checked, there was absolutely nothing for this one. I could be wrong about that, but at the very least, it hasn't made any kind of waves, and I'm a little surprised by that. One thing that will always influence how I feel about a game, especially one like this one, is if it has incredible visuals, and this one was filled with that throughout it. I loved everything about the setting of it, and as you kept going further into the game, they kept getting more interesting, and they would add different kinds of elements here and there. And then the look of the few different enemy types here were also pretty unique, and were just creepy enough to add this small element of horror to it. And I'm sure this is the case for a lot of you out there, but I'm sure you've noticed that the festivities of Halloween starts as soon as September starts now, and I'm not complaining about that at all, but it's interesting to see that because I don't feel like that was always the case. But nevertheless, I think if you're looking for a game that's sort of like a precursor to Halloween and really just the whole month of October, when I'm sure a lot more horror themed games will be coming out, this is really perfect for that. I also just love the fluidity and the overall performance of the game because it ran really smooth the entire time, and that was a huge breath of fresh air to play after just recently playing the Planet of the Apes game. Now when it comes to the puzzles themselves here, they were pretty easy for the most part. There were a handful of them that did really make you think, but I think the game did a great job of sort of laying out the answer to that right in front of you, and maybe that could be a downside because the harder the puzzle, the more satisfying the reward is of solving it. But I do think it's nice to have an easier and kind of just more relaxing puzzle game to play every once in a while too. I think a big problem for this game as a whole, and this seems to kind of be the case with a majority of the games I've been reviewing lately, is that the game is really short. I finished it in about 2.5 hours, and to me I actually think that was a satisfying amount of time for a game like this, and I had no problems with that, but I can see why some might want more out of it. I think Inside and Limbo were around 4 to 6 hours, and those definitely felt like more of a full and proper experience. And the $20 asking price that this game has is sometimes what those two will go for together, so that could be a little much. And actually I also meant to mention this right after I talked about the visuals of it, but another thing that can easily win me over in a game like this is the music. Unfortunately, the music didn't really stand out to me here too much, but it was nice enough, and I was completely locked in just the whole time I was playing this, and I really don't think I took my eyes off the screen more than a couple times. So I really did enjoy this game quite a bit, and I don't want to undersell that either, because when you go into something like this without hearing virtually anything about it at all, and I mean seriously, if you go check out the Wikipedia page for it, there's there's nothing there. It just has the most basic of information. That's not always a great sign. So the fact that this was as good as it was is kind of awesome. So I definitely recommend this one. $20 might be a bit much, but maybe now coming into, like I said, the whole fall season, Halloween season, maybe it'll drop in price with a sale or something, I don't know, but keep an eye on it, look out for it, because it's a surprising game. I really don't know why it kind of went completely under the radar, but I think it's worth a look, I think it's worth a mention, and hopefully, maybe you'll enjoy it just as much as I did. So yeah, that's all for this one. I figured this would be a somewhat shorter review because while I did enjoy it quite a bit, there's not a ton to say about it, but I really hope some more people give this one a chance, like I said, because it really is just very, very well done. But yeah, so I hope you're doing well out there, and I hope to see you in the next one.